Yeah, and when I look at the turnovers from Jeff Sims, I feel like there's a couple of different classes of turnover prone quarterbacks. And like there's the reckless kind that I think we saw a lot with like Adrian Martinez, Tyler. I know you and I saw a lot probably with Drew Lock, where he would put the ball in harm's way, and
Drew
it's
Lock's a beast.
it's a dangerous drug because sometimes it works out. But this feels like a different level than that. It feels like I haven't seen a single one of these interceptions and been like, oh, okay, well, that was a good player. Oh, I could see what he was trying to do there. It just seems like that there's a level of like just competence that we're missing out on. And it just seems like they're so unprepared and so caught off guard by what the defenses are showing. And both for Minnesota and Colorado, he hasn't looked comfortable. I mean, even kind of a little bit for a majority of the game, which is really what worries me. And especially during that Colorado game, you can tell that some of this stuff was messing with his head. And once you kind of get mental in a close game at halftime, I'm so curious why this seems like the exact opportunity to make a switch. And I'm always pro your starting quarterback because guess what? Matt Rule knows all these guys way better than I do. So it feels real lazy for me to just come in and beat the table and be like, oh, these guys stink. Get a new guy in when he probably stinks more, and that's why he's not playing in the first place. But it just kind of feels like that opportunity where this isn't working. Does this next guy work? Maybe not. But even if not, we're in the same boat as we were just 10 minutes ago when Jeff Sims is turning the ball over like he is.
Yeah,
Well,
and so a lot of that is a quick thought is I wonder if Matt Rule is I picked him. That's my guy. I want it to work out so bad. Thankfully, it's kind of been taken out of his hands now. Like he doesn't have the opportunity to really play Jeff Sims for a couple weeks. So we'll see.
my whole thing is, like Brandon was kind of alluding to, it's not like a gunslinger mentality with, you see with certain guys trying to make big plays. It's more indecisive errors where he's hanging on to the ball too long and he's not processing what he's seeing, and it's making him, you know, I don't know the right word what I'm looking for here, but I mean just indecisive, where he almost looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. Where you want to give him like 1-2 reads, and if he doesn't see something he likes, take off. But like you guys were saying, Matt Rule obviously knows him the best, and I don't like the Casey Thompson narrative now. Like after seeing some things, obviously he had the good week 1, but week 2, he's playing Ohio, which still a decent football team, but had 180 yards, about a 50% completion percentage, and 2 picks. So, like Tyler said, I would let it breathe with Sims. Maybe something clicks later on in the year when he comes back, or maybe it works out with Harburg. So,
Yeah, the revisionist history on Casey Thompson is kind of fun for me. I mean, obviously, Casey Thompson's not a great option, but it does kind of feel like that this floor is a little bit higher. Of course, revisionist history in this Matt Rule Satterfield offense, it could still be just as big of a problem.
it's just frustrating that you would think nowadays with the portal, we would be able to get someone that we're a decent quarterback away from maybe being 2-0 right now. Obviously, our offensive line hasn't played great either, along with Sims, but our quarterback numbers are not great.
And you mentioned the transfer portal, but it's hard to think that because of the way Nebraska's been the last couple of years. Why would any good quarterback in their right mind want to come to Nebraska? Is my thought behind that. Yeah, it's a big program. You're going to get a lot of eyes on you. Um, I mean, everybody hopes it's going to turn around, and I do think we're still on track. I'm not worried. I'm not ready to send Matt Rule packing or anything like that. But the past, I don't even know how long, 5, 6, 7 years, they haven't done anything. They've been kind of the laughing stock of the Power Five conferences for a while. Maybe laughing stock is a little bit too much, but I don't know. Like the DJ Uyalungale, like why would he want to come to Nebraska, or why would um, any of the other transfers want to come to Nebraska? Right now, it doesn't make sense that any of them would.
Well, one, it's money because Jeff Sims is getting quite a bit of money through NIL stuff. And two, I understand that argument in the Frost era, but with Rule, I mean, he has proven himself a winner. And obviously, with Tony White in the defense now, like my selling point would be to quarterbacks, this team is good enough to win now. You obviously our wide receivers are thin, but you have Gabe Irvin back there to help you. You have Billy Kemp, Marcus Washington, and a bunch of young guys. So maybe the mistakes are with the wide receivers and the O line a little bit, but we're 3 points away from beating Minnesota, and you got to think if we don't turn the ball over as much, obviously that's a big what if we're in that Colorado game a little bit more, but it's odd to me that you can't go into like a group of five school where a guy at like Ohio, the Rourke kid, make a run at him, or someone who's proven himself that can, stand in there, make reads wherever you get him from. But I don't know.
And I think it's a good selling point. Like, yeah, the previous regime didn't achieve nearly what they thought they would, but this fan base is hungry for a winner. And like you said, that translates into NIL. One thing that always sticks out for me is Casey Thompson did an interview last year with Bussin' with the Boys, and he was talking about the NIL stuff and coming from Texas. And he was like, I can't believe it, what it's like up here. I mean, basically all the starters are getting 6-figure deals, and even, just as a program as well, that I don't think that there's any women's sports programs in the country that's getting, kind of the opportunities that Nebraska's getting. So money certainly talks, and I feel like there's a certain sense of legacy that can kind of come with being the guy that to turn this historic football program around. I'm trying to think of like other transfer quarterbacks. I mean, the Ole Miss quarterback room is all brand new. It's tough to imagine Spencer Sanders looking at an opportunity like Nebraska and be like, well, I could go play there and, be a part of Big Ten football, or I could go ride the bench in Oxford. I'm sure those opportunities are out there.